there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well today. So, I did say that there was going to be videos now coming back to normal schedule, even though the format is going to be completely different. I really can't show you anything on screen. I'm having to do this just on the fly. And I've got a few things to discuss. Starting from yesterday, all the way until the meat and potatoes of this video, as you can see in the title, we're going to be talking about a certain striker and another one with the news and what has happened and what will happen this summer. But before then, there's a few things I want to discuss from yesterday all the way up until today, right? And on top of that, let me show you this. Right? This video is going to be relaxed. There's no formality to this one. We're just going to go on the fly and see what happens. I don't even have notes or anything to show you, so we're just going to go off the top of my head. But what do you think it is? Not bad, eh? Well, that's my view from beautiful and now sunny Algiers. And I was thinking, do you guys want a couple of videos from out here? If you do, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you want a couple of vlogs done out here so you can see exactly what Algiers has to offer. It's not the easiest place to come to if you're not Algerian. I am, so I'm cool. I can come in when I want. But if you want a visa, it's a tough one. It's one of the hardest places in the world to get it. But anywhere between 4 to 12 weeks it can take you. But if you want some insight into what this place has to offer and what it looks like and how things are, then I'll get a couple of vlogs done for you if you want it on the second channel, link in the description. But let me know in the comments if you want to see it. If you do, and there's a big response, I'll do it for you guys. And you'll be lucky because you get someone who understands things in the English way, and I also understand things in the Algerian way. So I'll be able to help be the middleman in all of this. So yeah, make sure you let me know in the comments. But because I'm on this vibe right now and I'm pretty, well, I say relaxed, but I'm not at home. I'm trying to remember things one by one. So starting off with the FA Cup, right? Now I didn't watch the game. I couldn't. I was completely busy yesterday with other things and family stuff and whatnot, so it was impossible. I did not watch any football yesterday. But Palace won the cup. Now, how that happened, I don't know, but I'm so happy because those that do know me, or some of you already know about this already, but I'm born bred from South London, Southwest London. I'm a Southwest Londoner, right? I know Palace and Selhurst and South Norwood and Thornton Heath and Croydon. I know those areas. I know them like the back of my hand, right? If it wasn't for family, close ones, tradition, you know, the blood is blue, the blood is blue. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably be supporting Palace, right? Because they are technically my most local team to me. Chelsea's close to me too, well, when I was in London, but Palace, round the corner. I'm really, 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 really happy that the FA Cup, right, has come to the ends. That's what makes me happy. So, Crystal Palace, huge congrats and kudos because I saw the goal. Really, really well worked goal. Beautiful, beautifully built goal. And Man City are actually going to end the season without a trophy. I did not expect them to beat Palace. Palace absolutely deserve it. And you know what? Oliver Glasner warned us. Warned us about catching City out if they met again, and they did in the cup final, and he did. He kept his promise. I mean, absolutely incredible. Palace FA Cup winners, huge congrats to Palace. Big respect. The parade is on the 26th, which I will not be there for. Man, what a shame. I'd love to see well, I've seen the Chelsea parades. I'm grateful for that. That's the most important one. But to see the FA Cup going around like I said, the ends, yeah, the home for me, pretty much next door to home for me, is gonna be wild. So I'm gonna make sure all the guys that are still back at home are gonna get all the clips and the footage that I get to see. So yeah, congrats. Next up, Chelsea women doing the domestic treble. Huge congrats, Chelsea women. Absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really happy for them. And what a beautiful side with tons of balance, tons of experience, tons of mentality, tons of winners, players and manager. And what does that mean? You win stuff. Beautiful concept, isn't it? You know, it's like the discovery of water. Wow. It's a must, really. If not, you won't survive. Chelsea women have absolutely killed it. So huge congrats to them. 3-0 winners on the day against Manchester United at Wembley. And it just continues. Now, the only thing that's left for the women is just to conquer Europe. We just cannot, because Barcelona just have this weird women's team that isn't the women's. They play like, sometimes they play better than the men. It's talking about the men, Lamine Yamal doesn't want to stop scoring that flipping inside cut, top bins shot that he always takes. He does not want to stop it. So congrats to Chelsea women, right? That's the most important thing. Next up, the top five battle, is going to the wire. Credit to Matisse, who called it a few games ago, saying this one's going to go to the final day. And he's absolutely nailed it on that, because it is going to go to the final day. Now, when I bring up, and I'm going to try and bring some order to this video now with I'm going to show you a screenshot, but without a screenshot on the screen. I'm going to show you a screenshot. There we are. That's the table. Bloody hell, who needs editing? Who needs editing when you can just do things on the fly? But Newcastle lost to Arsenal today, which means that 66 points, Chelsea 66 points, Villa 66 points, Man City still have a game to play. They play on Tuesday, 65 points. They can go up to 68, or they'll end up on 66, or they'll end up on 65. And Nottingham Forest, who won today, that one I wasn't expecting. They beat West Ham at West Ham 2-1. They're on 65. There's 1 point separating all 5 teams heading into the final day. But we have to wait to see what Man City are going to do. But even if City win, it becomes a 3-point gap between the 5 teams. Someone's got to die. Basically, someone's going to die. And you know what's funny? It happened in France. In France, it happened. Strasbourg have missed out on European football altogether. Who would have thought that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable scenes. Because they were winning, and then they lost. In the final kick of the game, they bottled it. And then they're not making Champions League. They're not making European football. They're not going to have any European football, which for Blue Co in relation to Chelsea makes life easier. But this is going to the wire, and that game against Nottingham Forest is now basically a final. If we have to try and predict things, whoever wins between Chelsea and Nottingham Forest will make Champions League. I think. No. Actually, no. Whoever makes... Yeah, because I'm trying to figure it out. Whoever wins between Chelsea and Nottingham Forest will at least make Europa League. At least. Yeah. Because Nottingham Forest are in 7th. And if they win, then even if City and Villa and Newcastle all finish ahead of them, Nottingham Forest will still get into 6th, because then Chelsea will drop into 7th. Which is a scary situation. God forbid that happens. Don't forget, Palace won the cup. Which means that now... in terms of who plays Conference League, I need to double look at the Premier League table. How's that going to work out? What does Palace winning the cup mean? Does it mean that there's an extra conference? No, they go to Europa League. So who plays Conference League? I need to look at this. But anyway, the top 5 is going into the final day. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be mayhem. We'll see what happens. But now, meat and potatoes this video. Victor Osimhen and Victor Yokrez, the two Victors, the two Vics, are both thought to be available for around £60 million. That came from BBC Sport a couple of days ago. On top of that, what we had today from Fabrizio Romano over the last 24 hours has been pretty mental. We've got Cherki, who is available. Cherki is leaving Lyon. That has been... basically announced by the player in the mix zone, apparently. He said, thanks to Lyon, the coach, the staff, and the president, my teammates, and all the people at the club, he is leaving, right? Azpilicueta is leaving as well, but will not return to the Premier League out of respect for Chelsea. Big up, Aspi, man. Much love to you. Much love. What a guy. And on top of that, Victor Gyokeres, Fabrizio Romano saying, despite public statements, Yokrez will surely leave Sporting this summer with a fee already agreed. Package worth around €65 million can be enough to get a green light from Sporting, as agreed with Yokrez months ago. Discussions with top European clubs continue. How are we not all over this? Simple. How are we not all over that? Because I know I advocate for Victor Osimhen, right? But I will also take Yokrez. If it's going to be one or the other, I don't mind either. That's the sort of striker we should be going for. And Yokrez has proven that enough. It's funny, the people that will mock Yokrez will be the ones to say, he's only done it in Portugal. He's only scored that many in Portugal. He'll flop in the Premier League. Osimhen has only done it in Turkey. It's easy to do it in Turkey. Anyone can do it in Turkey. I got comments like that the other day. Anyone can do it in Turkey. Well, it's funny because Osimhen is the only player to have hit 35 goals in the league campaign coming from another country. He's the first foreigner to do that. So it's not anyone can just do that. No. Do you know what I mean? But if you have proven that you can get the goals in those situations, in those environments, right, you can do it at that rate. And Yokrez has killed it. Yokrez has more goals than games. What more do you want? What more do you want? I will absolutely take one of them. For that price, that fee, look, okay, if someone put a gun to your head and was like, okay, you can have Osimhen or you can have Yokrez, 60 million. Are you doing it? In today's market, are you doing it? Of course you are. But there'll be some people, the same ones that will say, nah, but those goals are not impressive in those countries. Oh, no, but, we've got to pay them a big salary. Yeah, and? Yeah, and what? I would rather pay them the big salary knowing that I'm going to get goals from them. But people have this PTSD. Oh, it's going to end up like Lukaku. Oh, it's going to end up like whoever, right? It's going to end up like Morata. Sometimes you've got to risk it to go and get the biscuit. You can't expect to succeed and go and win the flipping league or the Champions League or whatever by trying to get everyone on 100k week salaries. If that, or on the cheap, you ain't going to do it. Name me one time that's happened. Tell me, what team has been able to do that, right, and actually win stuff? My solution is pretty straightforward. Get Sterling off the books, get Felix off the books, and Nkunku's going off the books. Get these players off the books, go and get Osimhen or Yokrez, pay them their deserved salary, so Bob's your uncle, thank you very much, job done. That's it. That's it. Build that spine. Striker, we got Palmer. We got the midfield, to be fair. Centre-back and goalkeeper. You build that solid spine and then throw all the young, cheap, youngsters, whatever you want to do around it, and you can get balance in the team, no problem. Because at least at that point, they have a spine to base themselves off, to develop off, to grow off, to not have that much pressure, as the spine are the ones that are conducting. But those sort of things are so important to go and win trophies. You can't just expect to just go and win a cup. It's just not, well, when I say a cup makes it sound like it's nothing. I'm talking about league title. I'm talking about Champions League. I'm talking about the big boy cups, big boy trophies, right? The FA Cup, the magic of the FA Cup is that anything can happen in that competition. The Palace have proven that this time round. You do get some freak winners sometimes. It's like, whoa. But to be able to consistently regard yourself as a top team, competing for the league, non-stop, you need winners. And they don't come cheap. Simple. They don't come cheap. But at least they're proven. So, I'll be honest with you. I think Yokrez is going to Arsenal. Personally, I think Arsenal are going to be all over him. That's my gut feeling. My gut feeling is telling me Arsenal are going to be all over him. And I don't mind if we miss out on Yokrez if we get Osimhen. I don't mind if we miss out on Osimhen but we get Yokrez. I don't mind. But apart from those guys, what are we going to do? Urgent times calls for urgent measures. Go and act. Make a decision and go. Simple. Simple. No hanging about. You snooze, you lose. And going down the ultra sustainable route just because we don't want to pay what? Another 100k wages a week on top of what some people expect to pay? That could be the detriment that holds us back for another season. I don't want to be held back for another season. But, again, we'll see how the Champions League race is going to finish. That's going to be the most important thing. But, let me know what you think of Gyokeres. And where do you think he will head? Because he's leaving, that's for sure. Someone's going to snap him. Who's going to snap him? Let me know. You are not going to beat teams to players like that if you can't beat those teams in terms of salary. If Arsenal walk and go, look, we'll give you 250k a week. What are you going to do? You got two choices. Give him a little bit more or let him go there. Pick one. But that's what big clubs do with every single big player. Or player that they know, oh, that's a serious one. We got to be serious too. You can't expect to get everyone in on the cheap and then compete for the big honours. You can't. You can't. You need balance. We have not got enough balance. And I think we would have learned that by now. with the struggles that we've had for the last 3 years. It's obvious to see what's needed. So go and get this spine. And it starts with a striker like these guys. We'll see what happens. But I'll be honest, personally, my gut opinion tells me Arsenal are going to try and swoop for Yokrez. And Osimhen, I feel like, is up for grabs. I feel like Osimhen could easily be done. Just like that. If we really wanted to, we could just done. If we wanted to. That's why I'm stressing on it. So we'll see how the Champions League race ends first. And then I think we can start talking big transfer targets, depending on whether we get Champions League football as well. But let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And I'll catch all of you tomorrow for a brand new one or brand new two. I'll see what I can do. Obviously, I'm away for the next week. Next weekend, I'm back. But again, like I told you, for the next set of Premier League games, the final set of the Premier League games, I'm going to be watching that in the air. I'm going to be on the plane, stressing, watching the final day. So whoever's sitting next to me is going to think I'm a coconut. Because I'm going to be like all sorts. Anyway, we'll see what happens. There is Europa League final this week coming up as well. I'm not sure if I can do watch-alongs. I've tried to do a couple of tests to see how it would stand. The speed is not great. Hence why the review was a little bit later than I know you would have liked, because it was just uploading. So I'll try and see what I can do, but don't expect anything for this week. When I'm back, there will be Champions League final watch-along, without question. And heading into the Club World Cup. I'm covering that, so it's not long away. Only a couple of weeks after the season ends, so make sure you're here. Subscribe, notification bell on, and I'll catch all of you tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well, and I'll catch you tomorrow. In a bit, people. Look after yourselves, take care, and peace.